This is the book of Psalm, chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10, is that I came across this news article today and I read the headlines, and the first thing that came to my mind was, this is why you must fear the Lord. Okay? And more than likely, that's going to be my title for this lesson. This is why you must fear the Lord, and you must understand reincarnation. So yeah, that's going to be the title. This is why you must fear the Lord, and you must understand reincarnation. Okay? And brothers and sisters know where I'm going with this, that have been studying and taking heed to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because the Lord is judging our people, okay? And more of these events are coming, okay? More animals are going to be mauling and tearing your children, okay? And I'm talking to our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Because this is the time of judgment. And again, the Lord's judging. Let's get this scripture. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 5. The just Lord Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Right. There's no wickedness. There's no, iniquity in the Lord. Everything is righteous that he does. Everything. Including this horrific, terrible judgment. This is righteous. Okay? And just bear with me. Okay? And again, brothers and sisters in the know where I'm going with this, because this is why you must understand reincarnation. You must understand it. Okay? Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Right? Okay? And that's the thing. The mother that brought this child, this young Jacob, to this world, she don't even know what's going on. All right? Okay? She wasn't raising this child to be an Israelite. She was raising this young child to be a Babylonian, so-called black person. Okay? And you clearly see it. Just look at the hairstyle. All right? Look at the hairstyle. This sets the narrative of clearly where this child was heading to. Okay? But again, you have to understand reincarnation. Okay? First, where does judgment play out? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Right. Okay, there it is. So judgment is played out here on earth. Aren't we all under the sun? Okay. That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. There you go. Verse 17, I said in my heart, the Most High shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there's a time there for every purpose and for every work. Right, and this is the time. This is the time where the Lord wanted to judge this 2-year-old Jake. Okay, and again, I'm going to go. You have to understand reincarnation, because you have to ask yourself, okay, yeah, what did this 2-year-old do in his past life that the Lord said, no, I got to take you out, okay, at the age of 2, meaning you only have 2 years to walk this earth before I take your spirit back, okay? That's again, you have to have the fear, a healthy fear of the Lord, to understand the will of the Lord, all right? And that's why only those that are obeying, okay, and keeping to the commandments to the best of their ability are going to understand this, all right? You 2/3 are not going to understand this. And the Lord don't want you to understand this, all right? The Lord wants you to get your judgment, all right? And he's going to come after you and your child, all right? Because no one is exempt from the Lord's judgment. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are, okay? Now let's get this scripture right here. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, right, so you die, but after, here's the point, after this, the judgment, right, meaning you come back, okay, and you play out your judgment on earth. We just read Ecclesiastes 3 and 16, where judgment is at. Where's judgment at? The place of judgment is on earth, okay? So this is where you come out and you play your judgment, just like he played out his judgment and he got judged at the age of 2. And again, you have to ask yourself, what did he do in his past life that the Lord said, you got to go at 2? And remember, let's bring out Numbers chapter 14, verse 18. The Lord Yahweh is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, right? And this is for the elect. He's going to show great mercy to, okay? This is who he's going to forgive, the elect of Israel, not you 2/3, okay? And by no means clearing the guilty. You see that? Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. There you go. So you are who your father is, all right? This is reincarnation, all right? Remember, in Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 20, it says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son, right? So, again, what this young toddler did in its past life, okay, the Lord said, I have to take you out at 2. So, hear me out. I come up with theories of different scenarios of what I'll come up with different scenarios, different theories of what this young toddler, all right, probably did in his past life. All right, I'm just coming up with a theory. You know, I'm speculating here. All right, he could have been a big time drug dealer. All right, maybe he was the drug dealer. Okay, where's it at? The famous drug dealer Frank Matthews, known as the Black Caesar. You know, he was a prominent drug trafficker who became a fugitive from justice in 1973, right? And most people believe he's dead now, you know, but he was able to flee from so-called justice, even though he was pumping drugs into the black and brown community because he was doing it wholesale. All right, he was able to get the weight from, I believe it was like Venezuela. Okay, when you go into this, all right, and he kept it low key, you know. So yeah, you have Jake that were big time drug dealers that got away with it, and they died at a particular age, and they didn't get their judgment like they were supposed to. So the Lord said, you know what? When you come back, I'll get you at too. You can get mauled by a dog. All right? Could this Jake been a serial killer that got away? You know? Think about it. Check this out. How many serial killers have not been caught in the, we'll say, the 60s and 70s? Look at this. It is impossible to know the exact number of serial killers who were never caught in the 1960s and 1970s. However, experts believe the number was likely significant during this period, often called the golden age of serial murder. In the U.S., several factors contribute to this high number of unidentified killers. Some estimates suggest that there were nearly 300 active serial killers in the U.S. during the 1970s alone. You see that? Okay. All right. So you got a lot of serial killers, okay, that never were caught. All right. You even have a lot of Jake serial killers that were never caught. Okay. It ain't just Edomites. All right. This was the 1970s. There was a lot of wild serial killers. All right. From all the nations. Okay. Now, of course, we know the bulk of the serial killers are Edomites. Okay, we do know that, and this goes to show you who is the real what's it called, villain in this movie. It's Esau. But again, I'm just making a point. Whatever he did in his past life, all right, could have been a serial killer, could have been a big time drug dealer. All right. Oh, I'll make it even simpler. We don't even have to go into those. In his past life, was he serving the Lord? Okay. Or was he mocking the prophets? Did he pass any prophets on 34th and 7th? All right. Times Square. You know, the truth been out since the late 60s, early 70s. Okay. Was he a scoffer? Okay. Did he do something to the prophets? You see what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about. This is why you got to fear the Lord, because, again, the Lord is about judgment. He ain't playing. Now we got to get this scripture. Judgment must come. Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Right. So, if you're not, the Lord has had it up, has fed up, has had it up to the heavens, because that's what it's good. This, okay, like Babylon's sins have reached the heavens, so have you 2/3 Jake's sins have reached the heavens. Okay. 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine. Right. And if you're getting squirmish about this judgment from the Lord, you ain't seen nothing yet. Get ready to see little children starve. Get ready to see women, mothers eat their children because of the famine. Okay? All right? And such are as for captivity to the captivity. 3. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear. The dogs to tear. That's what happened to this 2-year-old toddler. Now check this out too. When you read how he got mauled, it was of the Lord. Okay? And I also blame, the babysitter. She's to blame too. She fell asleep. She's supposed to watch this child. She claims that the child was asleep. And that's why she took a nap, because she figured he was asleep, so give her time to take a nap. But hey, you're supposed to be you're being paid to watch a parent's child. You're not supposed to be falling asleep at the wheel. All right, so that was her judgment. Okay, and she was running an unlicensed daycare center, which again, it goes to show that it was the Lord to judge, because those Rottweilers had to be around children. All right, because it was saying in the article that she usually has 10 children at a time. So them Rottweilers had to be around children, had to be kind to children. So this is why I'm looking at this spiritually. This was judgment from the Lord. This child had to be judged the way it had to be judged. And we're going to see, and they're going to show you how the Lord set it up. So the child was asleep in the house. It walked out the house in the backyard. Once outside, right here, he opened a kennel containing 2 large Rottweiler dogs. Police say the dog mauled the child to death. Right, and this is why I blame also the mother who raised this child, who's supposedly supposed to raise this child. She didn't raise it properly, all right? Because, you ever heard of terrible twos? Here, let me show you something, all right? Okay, I don't even have children, but I've heard of the terrible twos, okay? What's it called? Term. The terrible twos is a developmental phase for toddlers, usually starting around 18 months to 2 years old. Categorized by tantrums, defiance, mood swings, and testing boundaries as they assert their newfound independence and explore the world. And this single mother was not enforcing, chastisement. That's why this kid was moving around, able to open up doors, open up a Rottweiler, just doing whatever the hell he wanted. The mother was not disciplining that kid. I put money on that, okay? And that was all set up so that it can be judged, okay? The stages of normal part of child's growth. What to expect. Outbursts of crying, screaming, kicking, or throwing themselves on the floor when they don't get their way. A strong no response to requests. A desire to do things themselves and resistance to instructions. A rapid shift in emotions from happiness to frustration or anger. Testing boundaries. Toddlers explore wants and desires and learn the limits set by caregivers. Establish, how to navigate terrible twos. Establish clear rules and stick to consistent routine. Give extra attention and praise when your child exhibits positive behavior. Use positive commands and clear expectation. Understand that this is a normal whatever happened to you gotta chastise the child. All right, the scriptures talk about chastising it. But that when I saw like what how this child was able to get out the house and open up the kennel, I was like, oh yeah, the mother's at fault too. She wasn't disciplining this kid. All right, this kid was doing whatever the hell it wanted. Okay, wanted to do whatever the hell it wanted, and again, you could tell. Okay, she wasn't disciplining this child. The child was doing its own thing. Okay, and that's what happens. All right, in the black and Hispanic household, when you raised by a single mother. Okay, the single mother. All right, especially now. All right, these young single mother, they don't know how to raise children. They just popping them out and let them do what the hell they want. The scripture says, raise up a child, raise up. It's in Proverbs, right? is. Yeah, it's train, excuse me. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Right. And that's the reason why you're supposed to seek the Lord, follow the law, statutes, commandments, use the Bible, the words of the Lord, to train up a child. Okay? And a good, healthy fear of the God of Israel is the only way, all right, to put your child in order. And that's why the bulk of our people, you're going to perish, and your children are going to perish, because you're not training them up to fear the God of Israel, okay? And they're being judged, all right, for what they did in their past life. That's how the Lord, see how the Lord hits it? A two-hit combo. The Lord is about playing chess, not checkers, man. It's a two-hit combo, two-piece. He's gonna hit you and that child, all right? Because the scriptures say, and I'll close out with this one, all right? Remember, Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. This child was not innocent. Plain. That child was not innocent. Or where were the righteous cut off? Right, the righteous are not going to get cut off. The elect are going to be delivered. They're going to be protected. They're not going to have to worry about an animal mauling them. 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Right. If you plow iniquity, you're going to sow in wickedness, and that's what you're going to end up reaping the same. That's why when you read the NLT version, it says, my experience shows that those who plant trouble and cultivate evil will harvest the same. Exactly. Okay? So, yeah. This child was not going to serve the Lord. You could clearly see it. All right? The mother is at fault too. Okay? Not just a babysitter. All right? And this was the judgment. Okay? And of course, the child itself is not innocent either, because what it did in his past life. And I gave good examples. Could have been a big-time drug dealer, could have been a big-time serial killer, or keep it simple, in his past life, he wasn't serving the Lord, he was being a scoffer, he might have scoffed he may have scoffed a prophet of the Lord teaching on the highways and byways. Remember, this truth has been out since the late 60s, early 70s. From that point on, there's been a lot of generations that have came into this world and out of this world and back into this world. Okay? So, it's time. So, Lord willing, let's edify. I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Wakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Bashem Yahshai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it there. Keep the faith. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders. We're almost out of here. To the futures that are watching, keep fighting. All right, keep studying when you prepare to cover. We're almost out of here. Hey, this is why we fear the Lord, man. This is the one reason why we fear the Lord, and we're just waiting for his arrival. Okay, shalom.